This is News 25 with Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Hello and welcome to News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Deanna O'Donnell is off today. Thanks for tuning in to KPVM TV and A's Country Radio. Well, another accident brought things to a halt Tuesday night at the crash-prone intersection of Highway 160 and Highway 372 here in Pahrump. Fortunately, this time, no one was seriously hurt.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded to a vehicle versus pedestrian accident. The pedestrian declined medical attention, and apparently there was no damage to the vehicle. First responders were on scene directing traffic, which was slow but flowing, and urging everyone to stay clear of the intersection during the investigation. That investigation is being handled by Nevada Highway Patrol.
Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies put a would-be robber behind bars after they catch him red-handed inside an area home.
Gary Puckett has been booked into the Nye County Detention Center on one count of residential burglary. His arrest comes after a call to a home on South Oak Ridge Avenue in Pahrump. Arriving deputies say they discovered Puckett inside the residence. He told them that he was there to retrieve his personal property. Puckett went on to say he was no longer a resident there and had been living with his family at a home on McMurray Drive for the past month. In the arrest report, deputies say Puckett acknowledged that he was no longer a resident and that another person owns the property. When the owner arrived on scene, he told deputies that Puckett was caught on video entering the house about 2 hours earlier, and he was there without permission. The owner told deputies that after Puckett entered the house, his security cameras had shut off. Then, while checking his property, the owner reported he was unable to find 3 Wi-Fi cameras that had been set up inside the home. In their report, deputies say Puckett was the only person inside the house and that he would have been the last one to see the missing property. Puckett was placed under arrest at that time. Later, the owner told deputies he had found the cameras in Puckett's belongings. Officers were not present at the time he made that discovery.
Another call to police for a domestic disturbance leads to the arrest of a Pahrump man who's now facing a laundry list of felony charges.
Jose Chavez Franco has been booked into the Nye County Detention Center on one count of buying, possessing, receiving, or withholding stolen property, 2 counts of false imprisonment with a deadly weapon, 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon, 1 count of child abuse or neglect, 1 count of resisting a public officer, and 1 count of domestic battery by strangulation. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to a home on Tecumseh Avenue for a report of a domestic situation and a possible suicidal subject. Deputies met up with the victims, Chavez Franco's wife and their daughter, nearby. According to the arrest report, both told deputies Chavez Franco had pointed a gun at them while they were in a parked car outside the home. They say Chavez Franco then forced them inside the house where he assaulted his wife. Deputies say the daughter told them her dad had a handgun when he was arguing with her mom. And at one point, the 2 victims say Chavez Franco had them kneel at the couch and bury their faces into the cushions in what was described as an execution-style position. Both described pleading for their lives and asking Chavez Franco to stop. When deputies arrived at the Tecumseh Avenue address, Chavez Franco had already closed the garage door and would not come out of the house. Deputies say he eventually did come out but would not follow commands and asked officers multiple times to kill him. After negotiations failed, deputies say Chavez Franco tried to re-enter the home. Knowing he may have access to a firearm inside, deputies used a non-lethal munition to subdue him, and he was taken into custody. Authorities say they located the firearm described by the victims on the roof of the home's back patio. They also found a magazine with 4 bullets in a trash can in the backyard. A check of the serial number on the gun indicated it had been stolen.
The Nevada DMV License Plate Division is expanding its online choices. So the next time you buy a vehicle from a Nevada dealer, you'll have your pick of specialty license plates. Brad Francis explains.
Motorists who purchase their vehicle from a Nevada dealer have been able to register it online since 2009, but their only choice for new plates has been the standard Nevada-style plate. Now, the DMV's online registration service offers 16 specialty plates that support a charitable cause, such as animal appreciation, Las Vegas commemorative, Organ Donation, Pyramid Lake, Raiders, Reno Air Races, and United We Stand. More plates will be added each month until the DMV offers all 35 unrestricted specialty plates online. DMV Director Julie Butler says this is a win all the way around. She says the charity should see more revenue, the motorist has more choices, and the DMV benefits from increased usage of online services. The DMV notes that historically, only about 30% of motorists eligible to use online registration have taken advantage of the service. The number one reason, according to customers and Nevada auto dealers, has been the lack of choice in license plates. Some charitable plates have been available since June, and already the percentage of eligible motorists using online registration has climbed to 51%. Butler says if you buy a car, truck, or motorcycle from a Nevada dealer, you should register it online and avoid a trip to the DMV, adding it's fast, easy, and now you have a choice of plates. In addition to vehicle registration, the Nevada DMV offers a host of other services on its website at dmvnv.com.
And the Nevada Department of Transportation wants to hear from you when and where you can sound off after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, NDOT is launching a public comment period and an online public information meeting as part of its planning and environmental linkages study, and they want to hear from you, so log on to the Nevada Department of Transportation's website for more information and to share your opinions. And the city of Boulder City is announcing that it has received the Government Finance Officers Association's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its fiscal year 2021. The award reflects the commitment of the Finance Department staff to meet the highest principles of governmental budgeting. GFOA is the leader in sharing best practices and development in government finance. There are more than 1,700 participants in the Budget Awards program. The Finance Department staff received a certificate of recognition for budget presentation. This is the first time Boulder City has received this honor, and it's such an accomplishment, especially in a year when COVID concerns and financial uncertainty remain so high. The criteria to meet this award requires meeting nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentation and measures how well an entity's budget serves as a policy document, financial plan, operations guide, and communications device. Congratulations to Finance Director Diane Pelletier and her staff for a job well done. And a company that specializes in commercial two-way radio communications is expanding its services here in our area. Mobile Relay Associates is adding towers to extend service into hard-to-reach locations. Company President Mark Abrams says, given our extreme temperatures here, reliable communications is vitally important.
Well, we're in the land mobile two-way radio business. We put radio communication systems into different types of fleets of vehicles like buses, police cars, fire departments. We do tow trucks, ambulances, any type of business that has a fleet of vehicles. We just installed another site on our radio network in the town of Shoshone, and we were trying to get better coverage in the Shoshone area. This is two-way radio, but it's not your grandfather's two-way radio. The old two-way radio, typically you had to be in range of the same radio tower in order to talk to somebody, but this is a network more like cellular, and it utilizes a feature called seamless roaming like the cellular units do. So when you run out of coverage from one radio tower, it automatically switches you to the next. So you can talk from Palm Springs to Santa Maria if you want to, or you can talk from downtown Las Vegas in the casino back to your office in Los Angeles. So we've got quite a bit of coverage. Well, we do have some emergency services using our network. We also deal with marathons.
Like Baker to Vegas?
And Baker to Vegas is one of the events we've been doing for many years. We provide communications to approximately 50% of the race teams. Each race team is free to do what they want for their own internal communications. Plus, we've also provided some communications to the race itself. We are in the process of trying to put up another tower at Tacopa so that we can increase our coverage. And we're also looking at going at a place that will give us coverage into the Death Valley area. And we're also looking at a site in Death Valley so that you'll be able to go in and out of Death Valley and have continuous communications so that if there's any kind of emergency that you can deal with it. You know, when you're in a desert area and it's 110 or 120 degrees outside, breaking down in a vehicle can be a very traumatic event, and having radio communications can mean the difference between life and death.
Well, Nye Communities Coalition is organizing a fundraiser to benefit the Remote Area Medical, or RAM, free clinic that's coming up here in Pahrump in October. RAM committee member Ryan Muccio says it's a great event for a great cause.
Everyone loves tacos. Yeah, we're having a fundraiser on Friday, August 27th to benefit our Pahrump Remote Area Medical Clinic, be hosted by Nye Communities Coalition. We had to switch the format, so it will be a drive-through taco fundraiser with an online auction component. Tickets are $5 for advance purchase or $10 at the door. But again, it will be a drive-through format, so you just pull up, we'll give you some tacos, and you can go home and enjoy them.
What's the online auction and who's doing it?
So we're still working out the details on that. We're going to publish that through Facebook once we have all the details ironed out, and hopefully you'll be able to spread the word for us as well. But we're going to have a silent auction, so we'll just be transferring that online, and then we'll get all the info out.
Well, it's not a Taco Tuesday, but that RAM fundraiser will be on Friday, August 27th from 5:30 until 8 p.m. at Nye Communities Coalition at 1020 East Wilson Road here in Pahrump. And you can buy tickets in advance at the Nye Communities Coalition main office. And after this break, we'll tell you everything you need to know about respiratory viruses in this ongoing health pandemic.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25's Health segment. Normally, respiratory viruses start to spread in the fall, but health experts say RSV cases in young children are already on the rise, which is unusual for this time of year.
We really didn't see RSV all of last year. Starting in April, it completely disappeared and really did not appear till fairly recently. And right now it seems to be peaking in July and August, which is really very unusual for this virus.
Dr. Camille Sabella is a pediatric infectious disease specialist for Cleveland Clinic Children's. He says it's unclear why the respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is spreading earlier this year, but it is of concern since the Delta variant is also circulating. Symptoms of RSV typically include a runny nose, fever, cough, wheezing, and shortness of breath. In severe cases, a child may need to be hospitalized, often due to breathing problems. Dr. Sabella says RSV is highly contagious and spreads through person-to-person contact, so it's important children are routinely washing their hands.
This virus also lives on inanimate objects like toys and surfaces, so keeping things as clean as possible, wiping things down, but washing hands is by far the most important thing that you can do.
Dr. Sabella says treatment for RSV varies based on the severity. In mild cases, the virus often goes away on its own within 1 to 2 weeks.
Later this week, the Bureau of Land Management's Tonopah office will begin an emergency wild horse gathering here in Nye County. Brad Francis has more.
The BLM plans to gather and remove approximately 450 wild horses. They will use temporary bait and water traps consisting of a series of corral panels stocked with water and hay. The herd management area encompasses nearly 408,000 acres of public and private lands. The appropriate area allows for about 218 to 364 wild horses. The purpose of the gather is to humanely and safely gather drought-impacted and compromised wild horses within and outside the herd management area. Monitoring the horses so far this year revealed limited limited availability to water and forage. Due to the exceptional drought, little to no new forage has grown this year in the valley. The gather is critical to ensuring the future health of the HMA lands as well as the wild horses in the area, both of which are in jeopardy due to herd overpopulation, limited water, and extremely limited forage. The declining conditions and overpopulation has left these horses severely thin. Several springs are available to sustain minimal water needs, but with no forage, the condition of the horses is expected to continue to decline and lead to widespread suffering and death through the remaining summer months. Through removal of excess wild horses, the BLM aims to support recovery from exceptional drought conditions and the return of perennial key grasses once normal precipitation patterns return, which will ensure future herd health and fitness. Those holding livestock grazing permits have already removed livestock due to the absence of forage and exceptional drought. The BLM's priority is to conduct safe operations while ensuring the humane care and treatment of all animals gathered and prevent unnecessary death due to starvation.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take this live look outside through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam. Blue skies, but a few scattered clouds, and it is very windy out there. Hold on to your hair hats and everything else. What we have in store in your forecast after this break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Lovely to catch you on a Wednesday. And look at all these temperatures dropping out of the sky and turning downright pleasant all up and down the state. Look at Fernley, Fallon, Carson City, all the way down to Tonopah. Mid to high 70s, that's all you get? Wow, how about that? Bet that feels good after this last couple weeks. Goldfield, you're unique in the state, sneaking into the 80s at 82. Beatty, 92. Amargosa, all the way up to 99. Not much difference there, but still 10 degrees colder. And Las Vegas, you're sweating at 100. I bet that feels like a cool sweat today. Death Valley, only 108? What is going on? Here in the dusky desert jewel, the kingdom of Nye, the paradise of Pahrump, we've got 93 degrees currently, our temperature. As much as 95 as we experienced this afternoon. And that south-southwesterly wind to 21 miles per hour was no joke. Man, totally made me question my selection of wind chimes out on the back deck. Noisy. Hard to get a nap. Sun rose this morning at 6:04 a.m. Setting this evening about 7:29. How about that? 7:29? Sounds pretty good. Humidity sticking with us at 34%. Still with the clear skies. Does that mean clouds tomorrow maybe? Let's take a look. Nope. Lots of clear skies. 7 days of clear skies, winds ranging from 7 to 15 miles per hour over the next few days. Temperatures increasing from the low 90s gradually throughout the week, and we'll see about a 10-12% increase by the week's end. Wednesday next, we're looking at 104 degrees and back to sweating it out, but should be a pretty pleasant weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Back to the desk. Here's Unette.
All right, thanks so much, John. And we can deal with those temperatures under the century mark. We can also deal with the wind. There's good and bad there. The wind did clear out some of that smoke and haze that was in the area recently, but we again have to be careful in those high wind conditions. And we have another wildfire to tell you about, the Caldor fire that's burning east of Sacramento. Thousands have been evacuated, and that could also affect our weather and air quality in other parts of Nevada. So be cautious, be careful out there. There are more than 100 wildfires currently burning throughout the U.S. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks so much for joining us this newscast, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.